Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. I'm Jenny Taft with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Guys, how are we doing? Shannon,
great.
how was the game?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Oh, got a chance to see old Goat James up close and personal. Really good. AD down the stretch.
You know, LeBron's cakewalk to his fourth ring it'll be over on Friday.
I mean, that man's so good, he make you think it's a cakewalk.
Yeah. Let's talk some NFL.
No, we ain't talking about NFL. No. Ain't no NFL going on.
It doesn't work that way around here. It just doesn't work that way when LeBron James is now just one game away from winning his fourth NBA championship. The Lakers held off the Heat to win Game 4, 102-96. LeBron, who finished with a game-high 28 points to go along with 12 rebounds and 8 assists, said it felt like a must-win game for his team and that it was one of the biggest games of his career. So, Shannon, what's the biggest reason the Lakers won this one?
Well, LeBron took the game over in the second half. 20 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. He took better care of the basketball, only 1 assist, only 1 turnover in the second half, playing 22 of the 24 minutes. LeBron got the 3-ball going early in the third quarter, Skip, and that seemed to open up because they wanted to push up on him, and then he was able to get by him and get a couple of and-ones. Skip, in the third quarter, he scored or assisted on 12 straight points for the Lakers. That was in the third quarter, about the 6-minute mark. He just refused. He's like, you know what? Now is my time. I thought the first half, Skip, he was just buying his time. Okay, let me see if AD can get going. Let me see if some of the other guys can get going, knowing that he's going to play damn near 20 minutes and exert a lot of energy trying to battle Bam. Because if you look at it, Skip, AD, they made an effort that says, AD, you're going to have to take Jimmy Butler. And he did that. Now, that's why he should have been Defensive Player of the Year, because we know a guy that had an opportunity to take that assignment, and he said, no, I don't want no parts of that. And I don't need to call his name, but you know who I'm talking about, the guy that won Defensive Player of the Year. The other guy, the guy last night, should have won Defensive Player of the Year, and you saw some of that proudness down the stretch in the fourth quarter, Skip. And then in the fourth quarter, Skip, because Skip said, it doesn't matter what you do in the first half. It doesn't matter what you do in the third quarter. What did he do in the fourth quarter? Well, this is what LeBron James did in the fourth quarter. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, both of those assists, KCP. Played the entire fourth quarter. Skip, you like the fact that the free throw line. LeBron James runs from the free throw line. Did he run from the free throw line? Skip, I just want you to answer yes or no, and then I'm going to go back.
Did they ever trail? Did they ever trail in the fourth quarter? Did they ever trail? I'm just asking a simple question.
Why did they trail?
I just need to know, did they trail?
You know what?
Was he ever on the hot seat at the free throw line? Nope.
Skip, guess what?
Nope.
They were tied 83-83. LeBron went on a 7-point stretch by himself.
Yep.
That's why they didn't trail. You see? I got you again, walking right to that trap.
Yeah,
of course they wasn't going to trail because he...
Tell me when it's my turn.
It's not your turn just yet. He wouldn't let them trail. And down the stretch, they played, not only do you have to execute offensively, Skip, I thought defensively, they came much more engaged. And if you look at it, a lot of the shots that the Heat were getting, Skip, is that were late in the shot clock. I thought I was a little nervous, though, when Duncan Robinson took that 29-footer and banked it in off the glass. I said, you got to be kidding me. And then Bam hit one, and Tyler Hero hit one. And then, you know, they clamped down. They really locked that thing in, and it was good night, Irene. And Friday, guess where I'm going? Be blowing the horn downtown with everybody up. Ba, 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 ba.
You will be. I can guarantee it. I guarantee LeBron and AD and company will win on Friday night, and it will be over. You
Good.
done?
Yeah.
The Heat are done. You're done, and it's my turn. I got to get a new TV. I saw a really different game than you saw, but I live way down in the flats down here on the west side of L.A., and you live way up in your palatial estate up in Beverly Hills. And you were the one on the virtual cam last night, quote unquote, at the game. So you got to see it a lot closer than I did because I only watched my little tiny black and white TV down here in the...
When you got to slap and make sure
I got to do the...
You got the rabbit ears, too. You got the rabbit, okay.
Here's... Oh, there he is. He doesn't look real impressive.
Nah, man, it was bad. It was bad. I think we were down like 5.
He looks a little shaken up by that. Okay, so here's what I saw last night. I looked at the final box, and I saw some numbers that leaped off the page for me. By far, the best plus-minus in this basketball game last night, which was crucial, which was, as LeBron said, one of the biggest games of my career. What did I tell you yesterday? Right out of the box, I said, this will be a legacy game. And LeBron backed me up again after the game last night. One of the biggest games of my career. In fact, the narrative, the post-game narrative, LeBron always just on a silver platter hands the reporters a narrative after every game. He is the drama king. This narrative was that he texted on the group text all of his teammates right after he woke up from his nap yesterday afternoon, must win. Okay? So in the must win last night, plus minus, Anthony Davis was by far a game high plus 17. There's nobody even close to him. Lakers fairly closer, KCP at plus 8 and Rondo at plus 8, and they both played huge roles in the win last night. LeBron James is all the way down in the minus category at -2. Wait, so AD was plus 17 and LeBron -2. And I can make a very strong case that AD saved LeBron last night from futility, from disaster, because AD did all the big little things that helped win the game, such as taking, you said that Kawhi backed down from he wouldn't take, Well,
I say Giannis. Giannis wouldn't take Jimmy Butler.
Okay, I thought you were talking about
the defensive player of the year.
Okay, but in this case, I thought maybe LeBron would take Jimmy Butler, but no. AD said after the game, I told Bron, you got too much on your plate.
Thank you.
Let me take it.
I have this.
So Anthony Davis said, I got you, Bron. I'll take Jimmy Butler, and that was huge in that game. Okay, now let's get back to LeBron's group text. Must win. Here we come. And right out of the box, I expected attack mode from LeBron James. Did I see it? No, I did not. Did I see fire in his eyes? No, I did not. Did I see deer in headlights? Yeah, I did. Did I see play possessed? I thought he was like possessed by demons maybe, because I couldn't recognize him. It started to look like the melting down LeBron from the 2011 finals, in which the chosen one became the frozen one in games 4, 5, and 6, because can we just see a few of his first half turnovers? He had 5, but they were so bad that I was getting scared for LeBron. Like, are you okay? Did you have to be sedated before the game? LeBron, come on. LeBron, no. LeBron, no.
That shouldn't be on LeBron. That's AD. Now that one's on LeBron.
That was on LeBron. And then some of these lobs. LeBron, that's just a bad idea because you're not going to complete that. And the final one is, whoops.
Yeah, he just lost that one.
Lost the handle. And then here's one.
That's AD. AD got to give me a little better effort.
Okay, so 5 first-half turnovers, and I'm thinking, my God, LeBron is swinging the door wide open for the Heat to do what the Heat do, which is just take advantage of all your little miscues and turn them into big points. And what did Jimmy Buckets do in the first quarter? He goes 5 for 5, and I thought, uh-oh, here he comes again. Is he on another historic pace? Because he had 11 points in the first quarter, coming off his all-time greatest triple-double in the finals, in which he had, 40, 11, and 13? It looked like he was headed toward another 40 points off the first quarter. And I thought, wow, could they pull off maybe the second greatest upset ever? Because I told you it was the greatest finals upset ever in Game 3, because they did not have Bam. They did not have Goran Dragic. They got Bam back last night. Obviously, he has been their leading rebounder and assist man, and Goran Dragic obviously has been their leading playoff scorer. And yet, here came Jimmy Buckets, and all of a sudden, right on cue, he turned back into Jimmy Butler, the guy who's not a superstar. I always say he's got superstar intangibles, but I don't always see him exercise those intangibles. I don't see them come out in full force consistently, which is why he's not a superstar. So in the second quarter, Jimmy Butler goes 0 for 2. 0 for 2, that's all you got? And in the third quarter, Jimmy Butler goes 0 for 5, and he's not Jimmy Buckets anymore. And I'm saying, what are you doing?
Well, Skip, he's not a volume shooter. If you remember, he got those 40 on 20 shots.
He did.
So he's not a guy that's going to put up a bunch of shots, and he does everything he possibly can to get the other guys involved. And we talked about this, Skip. Unless he was going to have another historic effort, it was going to be very difficult, because they really don't have a guy. If you look at them, LeBron, AD, We have two guys that you can dump the ball to, go get us a bucket.
Okay.
They don't have that. They got to run a lot of different looks, give you a lot of different motion in order to create a shot.
Okay, and what I loved about Game 3 for Jimmy Buckets was when he got in the lane, he went up with authority.
Right.
He went up with conviction like, I got this.
Yeah, but
last night, not so much.
6.5.
Okay, that's what happened. And also, I think Jimmy Buckets turned back into Jimmy Butler like, I'm more of a facilitator. I want to make sure everybody's involved here. Well, there are certain nights and certain games you can't do it. And I don't know how many times, probably 4 or 5 different times, he got some edge getting into the lane. And at the last second, I'm thinking, just go up and get to the free throw line, at least. And he goes up in the air and looks around. Where's Tyler Hero? Wait, where's Duncan Robinson? I'll whip it out to them, and maybe they can get off some 3 at the shot clock. It's not good enough. It's not what they needed. They have one star who's not quite a superstar, so the star had to be a star last night, and he was not. And I give Anthony Davis high credit for that because he can guard on the perimeter better than you think because he's got good feet.
He does.
He was a point guard in high school, and he still has some guard in him because he's got guard skills and he's got guard feet occasionally where he can get in front of you and stay in front of you on the perimeter.
Right.
And then if he stays with you, if you try to blow by him, you're not going to get the shot off at the rim. So he was changing everything. And real quick aside, I don't know why Eric Spoelstra stuck with Kendrick Nunn for 26 minutes last night. He's a rookie. So they were playing against you with a rookie, a good rookie, but another rookie in Tyler Hero, the youngest player in finals history. So you got 2 rookies on the floor for much of the night.
With 3, Duncan Robinson.
And Duncan, I don't even include him, but you got 3. But these guys are going to take a lot of shots.
Right.
So Kendrick Nunn takes 11 shots, and he makes how many? 2. And how many times at the end of a clock did he wind up left-handed, dribble? I'm going to try to go up and under on AD, and you know what happens when you try to do that when you're 6'2"? You got no shot.
Skip, and plus I thought AD did a great job. He says, I dare you to shoot that 3, Jimmy Butler, knowing that Jimmy doesn't want to shoot the 3 ball. He says, I dare you. So now you won't shoot the 3. I'm not really worried about you going over me.
Nope, he did not.
Take your chance.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up because the flashpoint, the turning point of this night came with 3:05 left in the game, and Jimmy Buckets has a wide open. He's daring him to shoot a corner 3, and this is for the lead, if we could see it. This is for the lead. This is a huge psychological potential dagger-type shot. And he missed it pretty badly. And here they come the other way. Boom, 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 boom. And guess who? KCP right in front of the Heat bench. Kaboom. And then here we come back down. And we're going to see this one again going the other way. But then the Heat come back down the next time with and they're in the game, obviously, still after this one. That hurt. But they come right back down. And they dribble it around, and Jimmy Butler has it at the top of the circle, and he holds on to it, waits and waits, and at the shot clock, Bam took a shot and actually made it, but it was too late. Well, this is horrendous. You can't do this and win this game. Jimmy? Somebody?
Who's got Bam?
Jimmy?
Who's got Bam rotating?
Jimmy?
Who's got Bam?
Somebody take a shot. Oh, Bam will throw it up, and it accidentally banked in. And so did Duncan Robinson's. That was not called bank. So that was late, and that was the end of the Miami Heat because all of a sudden they're 7 down, and that was basically ball game. So I am going to give your man LeBron one big break here because he did one great thing. He was 0 for 3 from 3 in the 4th quarter, but the first 3 that he made was huge in this basketball game because it's 8:18 left in the 3rd quarter, and his teammates probably at halftime are looking a little side-eyed at him like, you said must win. Are you joining the party or not? LeBron came to the party with one big shot that actually gave them a lead that they never gave up. That was it. And it was a psychological barrier breaker for both teams, really, because I think both teams said, uh-oh, he's back. And they never trailed after that shot. They never trailed. It got tied a couple times, but they never trailed. So I give him high marks for having the guts because that's deep. That was from 29 feet. So that wasn't, your basic corner 3.
Skip, think about this. LeBron James has set the bar so high We think a guy that had 28 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, didn't play well. You look at his stat line for the series, he's averaging 28, 11, and 9, and we're like, man, he sure isn't playing well. That's how high the bar is. Let that sink in. The man is averaging a damn near triple-double at 28 points, and we're saying, well, he ain't doing much. Wow. That's how high the bar is, Skip. That's what he's done to you. He's made you believe that 28, 12, and 9 is boo-boo.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Would you believe that LeBron James in the fourth quarters of these 4 games is 0 for 9 from 3? Is that good? Does that count in the stat line?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We fact out, guess what, Skip? Even though he's 0 for 9, he's still averaging. What did he have last night in the fourth quarter? 11 points.
He is a stat machine.
Oh, no, he's that.
Yeah.
Skip. So what is he? Let me ask you a question. What would you have LeBron to do? Because if you're on the court, if you pass the ball and someone makes it, you get an assist.
Okay.
If they shoot the ball, you grab the rebound, you get a rebound. If he scores the basketball, so he's going to get numbers, Skip.
Does it count in the stats that in the last 2 games, LeBron James has 14 turnovers?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Does that count?
And that's one of the reasons why they lost Game 3. Is that they turned the ball over entirely too much, and they weren't able to overcome that. But if Jimmy Butler's, if you tell me Jimmy Butler was going to have another epic night, well, they probably would have lost that game too.
They probably would have.
That they had another 7 turnovers in the first quarter to go with the 10 they had in the first quarter in Game 3. But Skip, LeBron, let that sink in what he's doing, Skip. How many guys have had 28, 10, and 8 averages for a series? This is what he's doing.
Well, he always has that. He's had those kind of numbers every finals he's played.
I know he has, but that's LeBron. How many other people have had stat lines like that?
Okay. Do the Heat have a superstar?
No.
Do the Lakers have 2 big superstars?
Yes.
They have by far the 2 best players. They also have playoff Rondo, who quietly did all his little damage that he does last night. Am I right?
He had two of the biggest points. He didn't shoot the ball well.
I got it.
That layup was huge.
I got it. And yet, who shot the dagger shot last night? With 39 seconds left, who just said, that's enough, Heat.
AD.
You're done. AD just said, I got this, Bron, my turn, my time, boom.
Yes.
Okay, here it is. And this was like nothing but
Bron knew it. Bron knew it.
Yep.
Bron knew what it was. But, hey, LeBron bought time in the first half. Third quarter, he got it going. He and AD both get 18. So it's 9 and 9. LeBron didn't miss a shot. Looked good, didn't he, Skip?
So, all I know, bottom line to that game last night is that Jimmy Butler goes 5 for 5 in the first quarter and scores 11 points. And thereafter, over the last 3 quarters, he scores a grand total of 11 more points on 3 of 12 shooting.
Yes.
Won't work.
Right.
Won't get it done. Sorry. You had your chance when LeBron was a basket case in the first half. You could have just stepped on their throats.
You got to open it up.
You got to start making threes. They were 4 of 15 from 3 at halftime. That won't work.
Right.
Somebody's going to have to get going. Tyler Hero got going in the fourth quarter, but it's too late. It's not enough.
Skip, I also thought that in the first 2.5 quarters, the disparity at the free throw line, the reason why the Heat was even in this ball game.
I agree.
At one point in time, it was like 20 free throws to 5.
Yep.
And I'm like, if you stop fouling them, make them make shots.
Yep.
They weren't making any shots, but they were fouling them. And you can't foul a guy on a 3-point shot, Skip. You can't foul. Make guys make shots. When the Lakers started making the Heat make shots, stop putting them on the foul line, now the disparity. And you saw LeBron James. LeBron said, I'm going to the hole. Jay Crowder can't do nothing. Jay Crowder can't do anything with. And I told you, Bam, and I like Bam in there. Because guess what? It keeps one of our bigs close to the basket.
It also kept Olynyk out of the game, and when he was in the game, he played only 12 minutes, and he never could find any rhythm from 3.
But Skip,
he was 0 for 2.
But Skip, it's hard. If you look at Game 2, Olynyk had 17.
Yep.
You look at Game 3, he had 24 in Game 2, 17 in Game 3. And he had a nice little rhythm.
He did.
Because he's different than Bam. Skip, I'm not saying that Olynyk, nobody's going to think that Olynyk.
I got it.
But he brings a different dimension.
He does.
And so ain't no helping. Now, I'm not so sure that, LeBron would have had to help because he's like, AD, you got Jimmy. Yep. I'm not coming to help you. I got to keep my eyes focused on him. And I think that was Bron had some bad body language last night, but it was because Kuzma when Duncan Robinson, a Tyler Hero, you got to stay plastered. And he's looking around. Skip, I don't know. I think he's a phenomenal. I think Kuz can be a great player. But there are different levels to this. His basketball IQ is not what it needs to be.
I agree.
He doesn't understand.
I'm not sure it'll ever be. It's just who he is.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I give up.
Okay, but again, he still contributed last night.
He did.
I mean, that's pretty good. He made 3 out of 6 shots and 2 threes. That's good for you. That helped you.
But Skip, he has a defense responsibility.
Yep.
He comes in and he's looking around like, what's going on? Yeah. I'm like, bruh, are you not in film study, or are you not getting the scouting report on what you guys are going to do?
He's a shooter. That's what he does.
Skip, but here's the thing. I understand. He saw how Brandon Ingram took off when he got his own team. And that's what he sees. Jason Tatum. He sees Donovan. He sees these other guys.
Yep.
Skip, you're not going to get that. At best case you'll ever be is third option. It's going to go AD, Bron, AD, and then somebody else. Bro, you never going to be what you see these other guys being. But you're going to win.
Okay. Final point. I want to congratulate your man LeBron off a point you made earlier for his free throw shooting in the fourth quarter. He made all 7. He is, by superstar standards, a lousy free throw shooter for his career.
He wasn't last night.
He wasn't last night. I give you that. And it helped. It helped keep the cushion. It just bolstered.
Let me ask you a question. How did we get that cushion?
AD?
No, why would you say that? Now, you know the score was tied 83-83, and LeBron scored 7 straight points.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
what?
Okay.
AD, look, was AD huge? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Those blocks down the stretch, that defense that he played, and the dagger, because AD is one of those guys that realize, you know what? I don't really need to score 30 or 40 to impact the ball game. Let me block 2 or 3 shots when they're trying to get back in this thing. Let me hit this dagger. AD, hey, you know what I love, Skip? Every time I read the headline, Bron and AD leads Lakers. I love that. I love that. Because it's Batman and Batman. It ain't no Batman and Robin. It's Batman and Batman.
I'm starting to think LeBron's Robin.
No, but don't do that. See, there you go. It ain't no Batman, Superman, because Batman and Superman, if you go back in history, Skip, they have a contentious relationship.
Yeah.
But it's Batman and Batman.
Okay.
That's what we are.
Well, one Batman was plus 17 last night, and the other Batman was minus 2.
Skip, you see what you did? My man almost had a triple-double, and now you bring plus-minus. Well, now, you told me on several occasions plus-minus is one of the most overrated stats.
I did not say that.
You said
somebody else said that.
Okay, no, okay, Skip.
Somebody on this show said that, not me.
Someone. I don't think it was me, just so we all know. Since, Shannon, you are a little superstitious, will you be a virtual fan again Friday for Game 5?
No, I'm gonna start in my customary place. I didn't watch the game where I normally watch it, and I just said enough of this.
That's
I got to go.
probably the issue. I understand.
This.
Yes, I can.
It's a cakewalk.
I know.
There's nothing you could do that could jinx this.
Well, I'm gonna make sure I don't.
No mercy. LeBron is only 1 game away from winning his 4th title and 3rd with a different team. While it's an impressive feat, he would still end up with a losing record of 4-6 in the NBA Finals, even with this win. However, if he wins Finals MVP again, it would make him the only player to ever do so with 3 separate teams. Shannon, what would a 4th ring mean for LeBron's GOAT status?
Well, it would definitely put a stranglehold on this debate about the GOAT. He would have a stranglehold on it.
What are you
Strangle what part you didn't understand what I'm saying?
I think I'm going to strangle myself if you keep talking. I'm going to have to put myself out of my misery.
Skip, a 4th ring, 3rd franchise as Finals MVP, and it's trending in that direction, isn't it, Skip? It's trending in that direction. It's trending in that.
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's trending in that direction.
Shannon Sharpe.
No. And I think, Skip, in order to do it this year, given the circumstances of what transpired with Kobe, it seems like it's meant to be. But, Skip, what's so amazing is that they took these polls at the beginning of the season, and it said the team, the best chances to reach the NBA Finals, Bucks at 41%, and then it went the Clippers, Sixers, Jazz, Nuggets. No Lakers. That's what it went, Skip, to win the NBA Finals, 2019-20, 19-20, Bucks, Clippers, Sixers, Jazz, Nuggets.
Where were the Heat on that list? They're at 75-1.
We ain't talking about Heat. This is about LeBron James.
Well, that's who they're playing right now.
Whoa.
You probably forgot because it's so forgettable.
Okay, and they said, okay, Western Conference standing. It said the Nuggets would be the 1 seed, Clippers would be 2, Rockets 3, Jazz 4, Lakers 5. Okay, why? One of those teams should be playing the Heat, right? Because that's what they said at the beginning of the year. This was going to be the representative. So for LeBron James in his 17th season, finished second in the MVP. I believe he could have won easily. First team All NBA. We've never ever. I don't care what anybody says. You've never seen a guy in year 17 play this well. That's fact, Skip.
Okay. So?
A fourth ring with 3 different teams and finals MVP, Skip. I don't know how you get much better than that. And even if Kawhi were to get a ring with the Clippers, it's not the same. Kawhi was not the man in San Antonio, Skip. Kawhi wasn't the man that sat next to the man that sat next to the man. He sat next to the man that sat next to the man that sat next to the man. Am I correct? Because Tim Duncan, whether it be Tony Parker, Manu, and then it was Kawhi. That's the way, that was the pecking order. So for LeBron to be doing this, Skip, and to do it like this, but you keep telling me that LeBron James, Skip, did you know LeBron James is perfect from the free throw line in the fourth quarter?
We just talked about it.
No, I'm saying in the fourth quarter, in the series.
Oh, in the series.
Yeah, the series. Did you know that?
How many has he taken?
Now you want to know how many he taken?
9? He took 7 last night.
He took 8.
Okay.
Did you know LeBron?
So he's had 8 for the whole series. Okay.
Oh, I got, you know what? LeBron is first in scoring, first in rebounding, and third in assists in the fourth quarter. Is that good?
What is he from 3?
Whoa. He's 0 from 9.
Thank you.
What is he from 2? 13 of 18. Thank you. I'm ready I came ready for you. Did you know that LeBron James in this series has 34 fourth quarter points? Anthony Davis has 11. So, in other words, to make a long story short, we're about to put a stranglehold on this debate, Skip. And I don't want you to mention it anymore. It'll be over for you. It'll be kaput.
This is funny.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and in 20 years from now, when we come out with our documentary, how and when I became the GOAT.
Really?
Yep, that's going to be it.
Against the Miami Heat, who were 75-1, the longest shot ever to make the finals in the last 30 years that the stat has been kept, that any sort of odds have been
What you want
kept.
me to do about that?
75-1.
You told me you play who you play.
Shannon, you want to know the truth?
Yep.
This cakewalk of a finals victory actually hurts LeBron's far-fetched GOAT case more than it helps it.
How?
This is an epic mismatch. This ring should be made of cubic zirconia.
Oh, no. Oh,
yes,
no,
cubic
bro. Oh,
zirconia.
no.
Because this one has a big old asterisk beside it.
We're not doing that, Skip.
We're doing it. I'm doing it for you.
Giannis said he shouldn't have one.
Michael Jordan never had a path this easy to a ring, and obviously you have even agreed with this, has never had a finals opponent as weak as the Miami Heat, the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. I'm sorry, this is disqualified.
Oh, no.
You saw it from the start. It should have been a sweep. You know it, and I know it. In game 1, we saw LeBron and company go on a mid-game run of 77-32 over this team. That's all you needed to know. And during game 1, they lose, bam, their leading rebounder and assist man and shot blocker for the next couple of games. And they lose Goran Dragic, their leading playoff scorer, for the rest of the finals.
Right.
It's horrendous what happened. It's shameful what happened in game 3. I told you it was the greatest upset in finals history, one single game upset, because they're playing without Bam, without Dragic, and without a superstar, except for one night, Jimmy Butler somehow morphed into a superstar because he's usually just Jimmy Butler, and that night he was Jimmy Buckets. And he gave you the greatest triple-double in finals history. 40 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists, and didn't even attempt a three-point shot. And under the circumstances, it was all Jimmy all the time, Jimmy or bust. And nobody could stop him on the Lakers. They didn't really try. They didn't have an answer for him. And in the end, you look at what's happening last night, much of the night, you're playing against not 1 or 2, but 3 rookies are on the floor because Spo played Kendrick Nunn 26 minutes last night. He did make the all-rookie team, but he was an undrafted rookie. And he went 2 for 11 last night. Tyler Hero is the youngest player ever to play in the finals at age 20. And Duncan Robinson gets a little better every time I see him. But seriously, he's playing high minutes in a finals game, and they're playing 3 rookies against 2 superstars and playoff Rondo and a KCP who's turning into playoff KCP.
Well, guess what? They played those rookies against Boston. They played those rookies against Milwaukee.
Yep.
Skip, if it was such a cakewalk, why isn't Kawhi facing Giannis?
Well, I told you why. And I'm glad you brought that up, because you got the greatest break you've ever gotten in your career. I told you what happened. Denver's paper covered the Rocks, who were the Clippers. The Clippers would have beaten your Lakers. They were pointing to you from game 1 on.
Skip, you weren't even supposed to get there. If Porzingis hadn't got thrown out of the ball game, y'all not even there. You get beat in the first round.
No, they would have sucked it up and figured that one out.
Why didn't they suck it up down 3-1? You didn't have to suck up anything. Just finish that.
Sometimes it's about matchups. Denver was a bad matchup for a Clippers team looking ahead to, we're almost there. We almost got the Lakers.
If y'all can't stop Jamal Murray and what y'all going to do with Bron and AD?
What they did in game 1 and on Christmas Day.
Did you see what Joker did to Zubats? Did you see he made a mess of it, Trez?
I said it from the start. The Clippers would have beaten you. Vegas backed me up. The odds makers had the Clippers going into the playoffs. Number 1. They were the favorite to win it all over the Lakers.
Yes.
Okay, so it just didn't materialize.
Why?
LeBron got the greatest breaks of his career. The first break he got was the pandemic hit. And at the end of his 17th season, he got 5 months off to recalibrate, to revitalize his body for a playoff run. And then he got to go to the bubble where everybody else is complaining, and LeBron said, I love this because we get to go AAU on the rest of it.
No. The Lakers were complaining, and you was like, everybody was talking about LeBron, shut up, LeBron, stop complaining, yada, 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 because people were complaining about the food, people were complaining about all this and all being away from their family, and plus, as the spokesman, as the face, not only must he perform, but there's a lot of social issues, the Breonna Taylor and the Jacob Blake, and all this is going on, and that's weighing heavily on his mind. Skip,
it weighed on everybody's mind.
No, you told exactly, and everybody had a 5-month break, and everybody went down to the bubble.
The Clippers needed reps.
No, they didn't.
LeBron needed rest.
Skip.
R-E-S-T versus R-E-P-S.
I heard it.
That's what it was. And the Clippers got broken up just as they were coming together.
No, Skip.
And then half of them didn't even want to go to the bubble.
Paul George and Kawhi Leonard had off-season surgery. They needed rest also. Kawhi couldn't practice. Kawhi was load management. So now he got an opportunity to rest those old bulky knees. Paul George got a chance to rest those creaky shoulders.
Chemistry. They didn't have any as a team. At least LeBron had played with everyone. No, it's not. It's not. And the Clippers were never really into being in the bubble. It was going to get Doc fired. Everything went south.
Yeah, they got Doc fired.
Yeah, and what was your nickname that you gave Lou Williams?
Lemon Pepper.
Okay, there you go. That happened.
Yeah.
Trez was gone. It seemed like everybody was gone for
Pat Bell, Skip, I want to know where Pat Bell, he in Cancun right now? You know, he was doing all that yapping to Dame Lillard, him and Paul George. 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
So thank you for bringing up Damian Lillard, because your guys got to play 35 and 39 Portland in the first round. It was a mismatch. I said it should have been a sweep, and it should have been. LeBron had the ball in his hands, up 6 with 7 minutes left, and they got outscored 19-6 the rest of the way. That's shameful. You shouldn't have lost that game.
Okay, Skip, you keep telling me the Lakers should have swept. Why didn't the Clippers sweep Dallas? With no Porzingis, why didn't they sweep them?
Dallas was the greatest offensive team statistically in the history of the NBA.
Skip, you got 3, hold on. You got 3 of the top, 15 defensive players in all of basketball, and y'all can't stop little Luka?
Yep.
Oh, slow Luka?
You love him. You say he's a superstar. You say he's the next Larry Bird.
But you said no. You say it's blasphemous for me to compare this man to say, and I didn't say he was, I say he's the closest thing to it. But you said that's blasphemous.
I do, and I stand by that.
But you told me, you said at the beginning of the season, LeBron James in the Western Conference, if he wins a title this year, this will be this toughest road to a finals, and we'll have to give him kudos. Now, he's on the precipice. He's on the cusp.
So then he drew Houston in the second round. And what happened? Right on schedule. Houston, I predicted it. Sat right here. I said Houston will win game 1. And they did, and they won decisively.
Yeah.
Then the Lakers bounced back and won game 2. And right on schedule, just as Mike D'Antoni was raving about Danielle House, how he was the most improved player in the league and had become, and I'm quoting Mike, one of the better players in the league. And he was talking about 3-and-D, two-way players. And what happened right on schedule? He goes south, his bubble bursts, he breaks quarantine rules, and it just shocked that team, shook it up, and it went south, and it literally, like figuratively, went home right after that.
Yeah.
So it was a mismatch after that. They didn't even show up for the next game.
And guess what, Skip? Our best perimeter defender. It didn't even come down. Avery Bradley. We didn't mention him.
Yeah, you didn't need him.
Whoa, no, we didn't need him. You told me we were in trouble because Avery Bradley saved LeBron in March, remember?
Against the Clippers, you were in trouble.
Yeah.
Yes, and the Clippers couldn't get there.
And guess what? Boogie got hurt. Just think about it. We'd have had Boogie. Skip, first of all,
you're just fine with your big men.
Skip, the Lakers wasn't even supposed to be in the finals because it said Bucks, Clippers, Sixers, Jazz, Nuggets. It didn't even list the Lakers, so the Lakers are not even supposed to be here. That's what you say. Vegas
The team
said.
that's not supposed to be here is the Miami Heat, the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference.
We got James.
It's laughable what's happening right now, and they lost their arguably 2 best players statistically for for 2 games in the finals.
Yeah. We have GOAT James. Baby go AD. Y'all don't. And guess what?
Correct.
We're going to have them again next year. We're going to make a couple of tweaks to the roster. And guess what, Skip? We're going to be right back.
Did Michael Jordan ever get to play this Miami Heat team in the finals? No.
Skip, stop it.
Show me somebody he played in the finals worse than this team.
Show me somebody that he played in the finals better than the Warriors.
Well, that's debatable.
Show me the team that he played in the finals better than the Warriors. Better than KD, Steph, Clay, Draymond. I want to know the team.
Yeah.
Go.
Want to see the Eastern Conference that he had to fight through every year? That used to be the Beastern Conference.
First of all, Skip,
that was when you had to fight through the war that was the East.
1 Hall of Famer with the Knicks, 1 Hall of Famer with the Heat, 2 with Indiana, none with the Hornets.
Yep.
Really? How many with New Jersey? None.
Those teams
Stop
were
it,
loaded in the
Skip.
East.
He going through the big 3 Celtics. That's what LeBron's battling. The big 3 Celtics.
Yeah. Malone and Stockton were serious business.
Is Malone and Stockton better than KD, Steph, and Clay?
I'd like to see that matchup, actually.
They wouldn't win a game.
Yeah. Oh, stop
They
it.
wouldn't win a game.
You have no idea.
Skip, who gonna guard
That
KD?
team
I want to know
was
who gonna guard KD.
Hard-nosed.
Who gonna guard KD?
Carl would take him.
And KD would average a 50-point triple-double.
You really think so?
Yes.
I don't think so.
He can't stay with Carl. He can't stay with KD.
You know how tough those teams coached by Jerry Sloan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know how skilled? Skip.
I got it.
You got 2 of the 5.
Different era. Are we going to play by their rules?
However you want to play. They're not winning.
Let's play football.
How you not winning?
Okay.
Skip, you and I both know Michael never played a team as good as Golden State. That's fact.
Not as talented.
Did he play?
I don't know about good.
What about the Big 4 Celtics? I mean, not Big 4. Big 4 Spurs.
Yep. And you lost. You should have lost every time to
That's
him.
my point.
Yep.
And your guy would have lost had he played a comparable, like he did to the Big 3 Celtics.
LeBron should
like
be.
he did to the bad boy Pistons. He'd have lost.
LeBron should be 2-7 right now in the finals because Ray Allen saved his legacy after he bricked the tying shot.
First of all, we'd have won the first. If Kevin Love and Kyrie stays healthy, we're going to win that finals. We're going to win that one.
Well, you had them. You had them up 2-1 with Game 4 in your house, and what happened? 7 of 22 happened from the man LeBron, the king.
I mean, think about it. He averaged 36, 13, and 9, and you say he didn't play good.
Well, I told you the first 3 games the best he ever played.
He lose KD 5-1. He's 34, 13, and 10. And he's like, oh my God. And then he follows that up the next year, and he's 5 assists short of another triple-double with 32, 11, and 9. And he's played. Stop this. You need to stop this. This is ridiculous.
This is the cheapest ring anybody's ever won.
Wait, no, guess what? If it's a diamond, it's a real.
They ought to put an asterisk full of diamonds in it. Like the top of it should have a big asterisk, and it should be all diamonds.
I don't know if you noticed. I know you haven't been a long time, but Costco and Walmart sell diamonds too, and they cost the same as one at Harry Winston or Tiffany's.
Do they really?
Yeah, they sure do.
I wouldn't know.
So I know. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
And guess what?
So your point is what?
My point is this ring will have the same value as the ones that everybody else has won. Exactly my point. And we got it. We gonna get it. You don't want us to, but we gonna get it. We gonna get it.
This is the one you get appraised, and the guy says, you got taken on this one.
Shannon, I don't agree. I don't think that's how it works with diamonds. I feel like they are better if they're from Harry Winston. No,
they're not.
Are you sure?
So the diamond doesn't come out of Brazil or African mines? I mean, where they coming from, JD?
Well, I'm just saying.
You paying for that retail space over there, Skip? Tell Jenny how it works.
I wouldn't know.
I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to learn. We got to move on from LeBron because we have a problem, guys, and it's the Cowboys' defense. Despite the Cowboys being dead last in points allowed, Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy have faith in defensive coordinator Mike Nolan. Jerry said there is no need to make a change. Mike McCarthy said the team will stay the course with Nolan and that his confidence is, quote, very high with his defensive coordinator. So, Shannon, is Mike Nolan the biggest problem right now with the defense in Dallas?
No, Skip, and I keep hearing that the effort is not the problem. Okay, if effort is not the problem, you're giving up 37 points a game, so what is the problem? If it's not effort, what are you telling me, Skip? It's personnel.
Yep.
It's talent. So is that what you're telling me, Jerry? Is that what you're telling me, Mike McCarthy? Because, Skip, we saw this last year.
Yep.
We saw this team under this, and look, I know it's early in the season, but do I see a scenario, Skip, in which they'll look this bad, and all of a sudden they turn into a top 10 defense? Skip, I don't see that coming. Now, there have been times that you say, okay, they're a player here. Maybe we get a turnover. Maybe they get something like that you're like, okay. They don't even turn you over. Well, if you don't turn, I'm looking at Skip. DeMarcus Lawrence has 0 sacks, 0 hits. In the last 13, 14 games, he has 0.5 sacks. He's supposed to be he gets paid premier money.
$21 million a year.
Oh, and Troy spoke about how he was disappointed.
Troy Aikman did.
Skip, all it comes down to, just watch the tape.
Troy Aikman said, you should be embarrassed to have put this on tape.
Skip,
right?
And he was talking about that game.
Right.
Hell, Troy, I'm talking about the whole season thus far. They should be embarrassed to put that on tape. Forget just that game.
I got it.
So I just want to know, Skip, if it's not the effort, it has to be personnel. At some point, the players have to, and coaches, every great coach that I've been around, any coach that's been worth anything, he said, guys, you got to take ownership of this. This is your team. You have to take ownership. That's what Mike would always tell us. Take ownership of it. Brian Billick would always tell us, take ownership of this. Y'all keep going out there, all this and all that. All that talking don't do nothing. All I know is that what I see is that your teams get the ball and they go down the field and score.
Yep.
And the opposing team's defense hold your offense. Y'all punt the ball to them and they go down the field and score. That's what I see. So all this Jerry Jones says we're going to stay the course, and Mike McCarthy says, okay, if Mike Nolan isn't the problem, and you're giving up 37 points a game, and you saw that run where a wide receiver bubbles 20 yards deep.
Yep.
And goes untouched for a 50-yard touchdown. If that's not effort, I don't know what is.
That's the epitome of no effort and no heart. You done?
And just imagine if you didn't have Alden Smith. If you didn't have Alden Smith, because Alden Smith is Rex Sharpe. He's been the saving grace of your defense. Everybody else has underperformed.
Until Sunday, and I didn't see Alden. He looked running in sand to me on Sunday. Okay, you got it?
Yep.
Is Mike Nolan the problem? He's a little part of a much bigger problem.
Okay.
Again, just to keep him in perspective, the last time he was a defensive coordinator, 2012, 13, and 14 in Atlanta, they ranked 24th, 27th, and then 32nd in defense.
Right.
The first year was a good year for them because they went 13-3 with Matt Ryan. And yet they lost to San Francisco, remember, in the NFC Championship game at home.
Yep.
But they were still 24th in defense, then 27th, 32nd, and he got fired. He was the Chargers linebacker coach for a year. He was out of football for a year. Then the last 3 years, he was the Saints linebackers coach. Okay. How did he get the job? It's cronyism, because he gave Mike McCarthy his first shot at being a coordinator way back in 2005 in San Francisco. And Mike Nolan was the head coach for the 49ers for 4 years, 3.5 years, really. I knew his father very well because he was an assistant on Tom Landry's staff, the great Dick Nolan, who was the head coach of the 49ers once upon a time. Cronyism got him the job. Is he a dynamic leader and motivator? No, he's not. So now we get to the crux of the problem. And I'm going to respond to something that I was asked last night by our man Neil Scarborough, who you know very well.
Yes.
He's our executive editor here at FS1.
Yeah.
He's been around almost as long as I have. He knows all and sees all. And he asked me a good question last night. He said, it seems like the Cowboys are always so spoiled in Dallas. Being a Cowboy in Dallas, it's like the ultimate pro football job to have.
Yeah.
You know, it's America's team.
Yes.
But they don't play with any urgency during much of the Jerry era. Well, I agree with that. So let me explain what has happened. I covered 2 coaches who inspired fear in the locker room in ways I've never seen any other coach inspire fear. I wrote books about the Tom Landry era and the Jimmy Johnson era. Tom Landry, even though I called him God's coach because he worked for the Billy Graham Crusade in the offseason, he was a godlike figure during the football season. He was, as he said, all business. And it was the big business of pro football. And he was seen by his players as cold-blooded, aloof, chilling, distant, not loving at all. They were scared to death of the film sessions. The early Cowboys, 60s, they all wrote about and talked about how they had to take drugs to go into the film session to anesthetize themselves against the onslaught of criticism that they were going to get as a group in front of everybody. Okay? So they played in fear of Tom Landry, and they played hard for him because they feared
the wrath.
Yeah, that they might be gone the next day.
Absolutely.
Here came, in the wake of Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, the biggest force field of a football coach I have ever encountered. He was a tornado, a human tornado. I loved watching him operate because the players were scared to death of a guy they thought was a crazy you-know-what. What might that crazy you-know-what do? In their first Super Bowl run, in the final regular season game, they were way ahead of Mike Ditka's Chicago Bears at home, and a backup running back named Curvin Richards fumbled in the fourth quarter, and the next day Jimmy cut him. So they went without a backup running back going into the playoff run in which they won the Super Bowl, okay? That was Jimmy Johnson. I couldn't sum him up better than that.
Right.
Scared to death of him.
Well, he cut the guy, what was it, John Roper that fell asleep in the meeting?
Yep.
And he cut him. And he just said, well, what if that was Troy? He said, I woke him up.
Okay. So they played in fear of him, and they played hard for him.
Yes.
Barry Switzer obviously took Jimmy and Jerry's talent that they had assembled, and it was a great football team that kind of won in spite of itself the second year with Barry Switzer. But it was he was the good cop to Jimmy's bad cop.
Correct.
And they loved Barry Switzer, especially the black players would have run through walls for Barry Switzer, and they wanted to win one for him.
Right.
So that was a different dynamic that year.
Okay.
But it didn't last very long. And then since then, it's been all vanilla. It's all milquetoast. It's all a long line of Chan Galeys and Dave Campos and you know the rest. And all the way up to Jason Garrett.
Because but Skip, you mentioned Tom Landry. You mentioned Jimmy Johnson. The buck stopped with them. You wasn't going upstairs and talking to the owner.
I agree. No, you're right.
You got to have that.
Yep. So what has this owner been known for? He wants star power. He wants box office, and he seems to prioritize entertaining even above winning.
Right.
So what does he do with the stars? He pays and often overpays. And right now you can make a case they got a bunch of really overpaid stars, except for the quarterback who is on the franchise tag, and you've made the case he deserves more money. That's still debatable. But that's the first time Jerry's ever drawn a line in the sand with any star and said, I'm not going to overpay my quarterback and give him $40+ million. Right now, they could be 0-4.
Correct.
Is there any sense of urgency inspired by Mike McCarthy? None at all.
No.
Does Mike Nolan, does he inspire the locker room? Are they afraid that heads might roll tomorrow? There's none of that. Jerry defended Mike Nolan yesterday saying, and gave him a vote of confidence, saying nobody knows football any more than Mike Nolan. Well, I don't doubt that, but in that matters what?
Right.
What does that mean? It means nothing.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that know football. They can't play,
Correct.
but they know it.
Right. So, again, Dallas is the ultimate winner's town. It is, if you're a Cowboy in Dallas, you're a made man.
You are.
Everybody wants to be your best friend.
It's like a Yankee in New York.
It is. It might even be beyond that.
Because it's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's America's team. It's like Hollywood in Dallas.
Yeah.
And you wear that metallic blue and you can strut around town. It often gets you in trouble because anybody's willing to give you anything to be able to befriend a Dallas Cowboy.
Right.
And in the end, there's no fear of losing your job. It's all fat cat syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
I got it made. Jerry paid me $21 million to be a Dallas Cowboy. So they don't play with any urgency, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Skip, but if you look at it, look how Jerry and Steven has constructed this team. It's offensively star heavy. You got Zeke, Dak, Amari, CD.
Sells. It sells.
So you see the way he constructed his team. And even though he needed, Skip, offense wasn't their problem last year. He goes into the draft, he's like, Skip, it's like you got 10 cars. Even though it's a nice car, you don't need another car.
Yeah, I can't condemn him for taking C.D. Lamb just because he's so good. They had him 6th on their board, and they're sitting at 17 saying,
Skip, you need defense.
I got it. But you can also strengthen your strength and win with offense. But you can't turn the ball over, and you can't fall behind 29-10 at halftime.
Well, Skip, you need, when you're struggling offensively. Now, when I played with Denver, we didn't have the Ravens defense, but we had a defense that if we struggled a possession or two, when we got back on the field, it wasn't 10-0, it wasn't 14-0. They could keep us afloat until we got it going. Now, obviously, we struggled the whole game, and the Ravens defense, Skip, you weren't getting anything. But to your point you said earlier, the fear. I remember one game we lost, I was in Denver my rookie year, and we had lost like 4 or 5 games in a row. Dan said, you know what? I'm not feeding you sorry you-know-whats. Go get your own lunch.
Yep.
He come into the meeting special team.
He was a chip off Tom Landry's
He was Tom Landry's offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Skip, he would come in for special teams. He would come in there, we playing Mel Gray, or we playing this great returner, Eric Metcalf. And he come in there, he stopped the film. He said, there are guys walking the street that would give their left arm to be in this room.
That's true.
If somebody runs this ball back, somebody's going to have to pay for that. Now, he'd walk out. He ain't watching it. He say what he said, walk out. I'm looking at the other guys, bruh, I ain't going home. So we need to tighten this thing down. If we need to study extras, get keys and tendencies, we need to make it happen.
Yep.
That was a fear. You better not. Ain't nobody fearing. What? Skip, I go with Mike McCarthy and go talk to Jerry. That's what I will do if I'm on the defense. That's what they can do. Once you open that door, Skip, and the players feel that I have a secret passage to get to the owners that the coach doesn't know about, they'll do it.
I got it. And it's always Granddaddy Jerry. That's what it is, because they don't fear him, they love him, and they know he loves them.
Exactly.
To a fault.
No mercy.
Tom Brady is 43 years old, but through 4 weeks, it might be hard to tell. Some worried that Brady wouldn't be able to hang in Bruce Arians' system that required quarterbacks to push the ball down the field. Well, so far this season, Brady leads the NFL in big-time throws, according to Pro Football Focus. So, Shannon, how surprised are you that Brady seems to be thriving in Bruce Arians' offense?
First and foremost, this is not Bruce Arians' offense. This is Bruce Arians' offense that's morphed into Tom Brady's offense. Look at the Bruce Arians' offense does not throw the ball to the running backs and the tight end. Here's the targets in week 1. Running backs and tight end was 15. Week 2, 18. Week 3, 21. Week 4, 24. 50% of his throws this year have been to the running back and tight end. 5th highest in the NFL. Last year was 36%, 21st in the NFL. Only Drew Brees has thrown more running balls to the running back than Tom Brady, who averages 10 targets per game. Oh, he's thriving. Okay. He's 20th in QBR behind Gardner Minshew, Phillip Rivers, Baker Mayfield, Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's 21st in attempts. He's 22nd in completions. The only reason these numbers look good is because he's throwing the ball so many times a game, 39 times a game. Big-time throws. But what about when you give big-time throws to the other team? Skip, stop this. This needs to stop. This is not Bruce Arians' offense. The big-time throws, pushing the ball down the field. He's not pushing the ball down the field. Yes, completion percentage. Skip loves QBR. I noticed when Tom Brady's QBR, Tom Brady was Pro Football Focus ranked him last year #1, the first quarter poll, #1 in QBR. They ain't mentioned QBR. They didn't mention completion percentage. They didn't mention yards per attempt. Now you got to try to find a way to prop him up. Big-time throws. Well, what about those pick sixes? What about those INTs? Are they big-time throws also? Skip, Tom Brady is playing well. But to try to put him up there is like, he's playing as well as Aaron Rodgers. He's playing well as Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. That's not true. It's okay. But this notion that he's having this historical season is not true based on the numbers.
Interesting. You done?
I'm done.
Well, I'm about to unleash what Tom Brady has done so far in Bruce Arians' offense is spectacular to the point it's flying completely under the radar, especially by you. He has so far 16 big-time down-the-field throws. That ranks easily #1 in the National Football League. The last time he had 15-plus big-time throws in a season was back in 2011. This man is 43 years of age, playing in a brand-new offense and system with brand-new play caller, coordinator, head coach who's an offensive guru, and advisor who's an offensive guru. It's all new and all different, and he's accomplished that at the quarter poll. Pro Football Focus grades him out as the 3rd best quarterback in pro football through 4 games.
And anybody that watched him play know he's not better right now, Skip, than Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, or Patrick Mahomes. Everybody knows that, Skip. It's not even close.
So Stephen Ruiz, who breaks down film for the Win, writes about this and says, this is Arians' offense through and through. He had his doubts also. He breaks down all the tape. It's the same exact offense we saw Jameis Winston running in 2019. Same we saw Carson Palmer run in Arizona. Same offense that young Andrew Luck ran in Indianapolis. Arians has changed nothing, says Stephen Ruiz. Or Tom Brady has changed nothing, but he makes the point, to your point, the running back routes, the swing passes were always there for Jameis. Jameis just didn't take them.
Skip, because in this offense, you're not supposed to take it. What's Bruce Arians' famous term? What does he say, Skip? No what? No what?
No risk it, no biscuit.
Okay, the Carson
He
Palmer
has the most big-time throws in the league.
Skip.
Nobody has more big-time throws. He vertical. He is throwing verticals like crazy.
Skip, let me ask you a question. If you go back and look at Carson Palmer, if you go back and look at Big Ben, if you go back and look at Andrew Luck, how many times did they throw to the running backs? How many times did they throw to the tight ends? That's not Bruce Arians' offense. Bruce Arians' offense is bombs over Baghdad. Throw the ball over your head. Is that what he's doing? No. Mike Evans had 2 touchdowns, 2 catches for 2 yards against Denver.
Tom Brady's depth of throw through 4 games is almost equal to Jameis Winston, and he was bombs away last year. It's 11.4 average per attempt to 12.5 for Jameis. It's in the same ballpark.
He's 21st in yards per attempt.
He's not going to turn the ball over like Jameis did. He's not going to take sacks like Jameis did.
What about the pick sixes? He looked like Jameis.
He threw 2 pick sixes. Both to Justin Watson, who's a brand new receiver, and I don't love him. And I don't think Tom should be throwing out routes to Jameis Winston. Okay. But speaking of out routes, there are things called deep curls that are the equivalent to me of out routes. And if we could see one he threw this past Sunday against the Chargers, this is in the 3rd quarter while they're making their frantic comeback. He throws this from the opposite hash all the way across the field to Mike Evans. And it's a deep curl. It's not all the way to the sideline. But tell me you don't see this same old Tom Brady arm strength on that. I'm sorry. What arm strength is he? I told you, I see no loss, no decline of arm strength. He's throwing that from the near hash to the far sideline. I'm sorry. That is outside the numbers. And we don't have time. I could show you a dozen of those where he did complete it. And I'm saying, what are you talking about? It's all inside the numbers. And he's throwing. I showed you. I told you. I raved about little Scotty Miller in the offseason. And you laughed at me. And now he's become one of his favorite targets. Yeah. And as they made their desperate comeback from 24 to 7 down, the drive that put them over the top that got them back in the lead is to Scotty Miller. There's a bomb to Scotty Miller. Is that arm strength? Is that accuracy? And then he comes right back and hits him right over the middle for a touchdown from 30 yards. I don't know. It's like he's doing everything he used to do in New England. He looks like the same guy to me at age 43.
He looked like the guy that last year was 20th. It was 19th in QBR. He's 20th this year.
Yeah.
He looks like a guy that was 21st in completion percentage.
Yeah.
He's 22nd this year. He's 21st in yards per attempt. He was 20th last year. So what has changed?
Stephen Ruiz concludes in his piece, Brady's brilliance is what made that system work in New England, and it's having the same effect in Tampa.
Yeah, but I mean,
it just is.
Cam got the system was going good too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, Skip, this is not, look, I'm not saying Brady is not playing well, but to say Brady is running Bruce Arians' offense as it was intended to be run is disingenuous.
Okay, but the routes are all Arians routes.
Yeah. Everybody runs the same routes. They might call them different things and put the emphasis, the stress on where the ball needs to go. In New Orleans offense, everybody's running the running back on the curl, the rim route, and the arrow or the angle. But some teams emphasize throwing it to the running back, throwing it to the tight ends more than others.
Some quarterbacks do.
So Tom Brady is throwing up, Skip. What we've seen is a gradual progression from 15 balls to the tight ends and running back in week 1 to here we are 24 in week 4. So that's not Bruce Arians' offense.
Because he had Gronk? Not much.
No. Bruce Arians' offense said, I don't throw the ball. But he threw a touchdown to Cameron Brake. O.J. Howard, before he suffered his season-ending injury, had a couple of touchdowns. So for me, Skip, all I'm saying is that to say that this is Bruce Arians' offense in its purity is not true. Tom Brady, it might be calling Bruce's terms, but his emphasis is throwing the ball to the running backs and to the tight ends, not pushing the ball down the field, getting those big chunk plays. You said Tom Brady's going to average what? 5,000 yards. He ain't getting no 5,000 yards. Never happened.
Well, you said that he's going to be throwing little underneath option routes to the slot receiver.
24.
Really?
Tight end, running
receiver?
back. Look at my guy. Look at my guy, old A-Rod.
Who's the slot receiver?
Look at my guy, A-Rod. Look at what guy A-Rod. What he doing? Russ. In Russ, we trust.
Yep. Aaron Rodgers has been to one Super Bowl 10 years ago.
We're not doing that.
My guy is 6 out of 9, and I think he's got a real shot at getting to another one.
Right now. Who's playing the better of the position right now?
Well, one guy's starting fresh with coming out of a pandemic with no preseason games and very little offseason work.
My guy's coming out of a pandemic, and they wanted to get rid of him.
Yep, they did.
Okay, then.
And they may still want to.
If you want to get rid of a guy with 11 touchdowns and no picks?
This guy's 43 years of age. You got to give it up to him.
I'm giving it up to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Skip, you see, I mean, why you don't want to you saw that Monday night. You saw it, you've been seeing. He did you a favor. He went to New Orleans and did something for you. And you don't want to give him credit for that?
Did you see what the Chargers defense did to Patrick Mahomes? Do you realize it was 17-9 Chargers going into the fourth quarter? That's what they did to him.
17-9. And guess what they did? They had you down 24-7.
Yep, and here he came.
And here he came.
Yeah.
And my guy, my guy hadn't thrown an interception yet.
Who had the better game against the Chargers defense, Brady or Mahomes? Help me out.
My guy was on the road. Your guy was at home.
Okay. Yeah, in front of 14 fans.
No. Y'all had like 12,000.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's Florida.
Yeah.
They don't get them Florida. Look at Jerry World. They had 25,000.
Now they have 25,000, but they don't care.
Exactly.
Okay.
But they have a little more space to separate.
Your day coming.
Well, hey, my day might be coming Thursday night because his receivers are decimated now.
Oh, Nicky Foles.
Huh?
Oh, Nicky Foles.
No, but Brady's not going to have
Nicky Foles.
Godwin may not have Mike Evans.
Man, Mike Evans be out there limping down the field for 100 yards. He need to stop. Ain't nothing wrong with Mike Evans.
Okay. No mercy. LeBron and Anthony Davis both came up big for the Lakers last night. LeBron nearly had another triple-double and made key three-pointers to keep the Lakers ahead in the second half, while Anthony Davis had his own clutch three-pointer with under a minute left, followed by a big block on Jimmy Butler to ice the game. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard joining us this morning. Chris, the game was good. I want to ask you, who was the most valuable Laker last night?
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Look, I thought it was a true team win. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was good, and the rest of the others, Danny Green, Kyle Kuzma, playoff Rondo played really big. Markieff Morris, a lot of them, yeah. It was a true team win. Obviously, AD, 22-9, which is, you'll take it. It's not his usual numbers, but you'll take it from your second-best player. And then defensively, AD was outstanding with the 4 blocks. He guarded Jimmy Butler late. Obviously, as you said, Jen hit the big 3. But let's not make this too complicated. Let's not play mental gymnastics and try to give it to somebody else. It clearly, definitively, undisputedly was LeBron James. LeBron James. And look, I know he wasn't himself necessarily in the first half with the 5 turnovers. I'm getting texts from people saying LeBron's tight. He's playing tight. He's not himself. I heard Mike Breen say he didn't look like himself. But I actually thought he looked composed. Because in the game 3, I thought LeBron came out and forced the action. That's why he had so many turnovers. I thought he was forcing stuff that wasn't there. I thought this game he was composed. He took the 3 when it was there. He drove when he needed to. And those 2 deep threes he hit in the middle of the third quarter, when he also had a layup and a free throw, I believe, to go on score 9 points in 2 minutes. Those 2 threes, I thought, settled down his teammates and let them realize, okay, LeBron James is in the building. He's here. And he was great in the second half. The fourth quarter, he goes for 11 points, 2 assists. He accounted for 16 of the Lakers' 27 points in the fourth quarters. We know he's not a great foul shooter, but he goes 7 for 7 from the free throw line late. I mean, come on. It was LeBron. Period. The end.
The end. Go James. I thought he did a great job of trying to preserve himself. He's like, you know what? They can't make it.
Preserve himself?
Yeah, he's preserved himself because he knows he's going to need this Herculean effort. Skip, look, there's some people that you go out and you try to destroy the field in the first half. And there's some people say, you know what? I got this kick. I can just sit back here long as I keep you in striking distance. And that's what he did. He kept them at bay. They weren't doing anything. Skip, that second half was dominant. But you know what, Chris? LeBron James has set the bar so high that now we're snickering at 28, 12, and 8. That's what we're doing. He's averaging 28, 11, and 9 for a finals, the NBA finals. That's what LeBron James is doing. And we're saying, man, he ain't had the game. He ain't had a LeBron James. Let that sink in for just a second. Agreed. He's averaging 28, 11, and 9. And people saying he's not playing that well, Skip. That's what he's done for you.
Who's saying that?
You!
Oh, only
because
me?
You say
I think a lot of people are saying that.
A lot of people out there mind, too. Now, Skip better say, he said, I want him to, the fourth quarter. You know, Chris, you know Skip longer than I have. He always talk about the fourth quarter. What did he do in the fourth quarter, Shannon?
Yes.
11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. He run from late game. Skip, Chris, I've never seen a guy run from late game free throws like LeBron James, the FOGO. Did he run last night? Did he run last night? No.
Did they trail in the fourth quarter?
You know why?
No.
Guess why they didn't trail? Guess why they didn't trail? He wouldn't let them. It was tied.
Did it come down to a last shot last night? No.
It was 83-83. And the LeBron James goes on a 7-0 run by himself. He said, I ain't going to let you get back in there for this over for you, Jimmy. Jimmy, I want to ask you a question, Jimmy. Are they in trouble now? Are they still in trouble? I need to know.
You finished?
Yep.
Gloating?
And Skip, look, the second half, LeBron, we know he had a game-high 12 rebounds. He had 9 in the second half. In the second half, it looked like he was getting every defensive rebound. I mean, it was stunning. Every rebound he was getting, and that's a part of defense. Remember that. Let's not belittle, AD guarded Jimmy Butler. He played the great defense. LeBron was guarding Bam a lot.
Bam!
But he was dominating the backboards. That's the last part of defense.
Give me that.
You guys both make me laugh out loud. Somebody has to be the voice of reason on this show.
It ain't you.
And I'm about to be that guy. All I know is that in plus-minus, final box score, Anthony Davis was by far a game high plus 17 because that's how valuable he was last night. Far more valuable in the big picture than LeBron, who wound up a -2. That says it all to me. Plus 17 was so much better than even two other teammates. You had KCP at +8 and Rondo at +8. AD plus 17. LeBron way down at -2. That said it all to me. The first half said it all to me when LeBron, the whole postgame narrative was, he woke up from his nap and he texted everybody on group text, must win. And then LeBron said after the game, this is one of the biggest games of my career. I told you yesterday, I said it right here, this was a legacy game for LeBron James because you cannot give this Heat team any new life at 2-2. So I expected LeBron, I told you yesterday, I predicted he'd score 40. I thought he would come out in attack mode. No. I thought he'd play possessed in the first half, and he played possessed by demons. I'd never seen anything quite like it. I'm saying, LeBron, where are you? You look like the deer in headlights, LeBron, who shrank in games 4, 5, and 6 in the 2011 finals when the chosen one became the frozen one. I couldn't recognize this LeBron because he had 5 first-half turnovers, coming off 8 turnovers in game 3. What has happened to you, LeBron? You're lobbing passes to AD that go completely out of bounds. He looked shook up to me. He did look out of it to me. I'm sorry you guys say he was, Shannon's trying to make it, he was preserving his energy.
Feeling it out, yeah.
Oh, feeling it out like a boxer in
Buying time, that's what he did.
Really? Okay. And he's playing against 3 rookies on the other team. They're playing high minutes, 3 rookies, and he's trying to feel it out like a big heavyweight fight. Oh, stop it. Both of you stop it. And at halftime, I'm sure the Lakers are looking side-eyed at LeBron like, are you going to come to the party or not? Are we going to have to do this by ourselves?
Yeah.
And really, in the end, the Lakers MVP was a guy named Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler, he starts off the game like game 3, Jimmy Buckets. And what does he do? Right out of the box, he goes 5 for 5 in the first quarter and scores 11 points. And I'm thinking, life begins at 40 again. He might be going for 40. And what did Anthony Davis say to LeBron? We're asking LeBron to do so much. He said, I turned to him and said, I got him. I got him. Yep. Did LeBron take Jimmy Buckets? No, AD did. Yeah. And AD's got guard feet. He can guard on the perimeter. And he took Jimmy Butler out of the game. Jimmy Butler went 0 for 2. He took only 2 shots in the second quarter. He went 0 for 5 in the third quarter. And after the first quarter, the rest of the way, the final 3 quarters, he went a grand total of 3 for 12 and scored 11 points in the last 3 quarters after 11 in the first quarter. Yeah. That was the game. Period. End of story. He turned Jimmy Buckets back into Jimmy Butler, a near superstar who has superstar intangibles but doesn't always play as big as a superstar should. And last night, Jimmy Butler went passive-aggressive on AD. He would get a little bit of edge driving into the lane and then, I better pass it out to Tyler or to Duncan. And it's not good enough. It's Jimmy Buckets or bust for the Miami Heat, and they didn't have him the last 3 quarters. And in the end, that turned the tide in favor of LeBron and company. AD saved LeBron last night.
Don't do that, Skip.
Well, he did.
Don't do that.
Well, 5 turnovers?
Chris, you see what I'm saying? You see?
Good.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
I said, Skip. If LeBron had gone for 28 points in the first half, played a really good third quarter, played well for most of the fourth quarter, and then struggled in the last 2 minutes, you'd be killing him. Now he's great in the second half. Okay. And he struggled a little bit in the first half.
Struggled a little bit with 5 turnovers. That's on pace for 10 for the game.
End of the game.
What are you talking about? You can't just sweep that under your carpet you have over there. You got a little LeBron carpet. Sweep all the bad stuff under the carpet.
I thought the fourth quarter was the most important aspect. He had 11. He had 5 rebounds, and so what do you 2 assists?
All I know is that game swung on 2 threes, one that was missed and one was made. And Jimmy Buckets had a 3 from the corner wide open. Anthony just dared him to shoot it from the short corner. And he missed it pretty badly.
That was LeBron that dared him to shoot it.
Was it?
That was LeBron.
Okay.
And then because he gets the rebound and he pushes up to KCP.
Well, whoever. Nobody was guarding him, so I guess LeBron didn't opt to guard him. And he missed it badly, and they just push it right up to KCP, and he rips it from right in front of the Miami bench. That was the game because Jimmy Buckets was shooting for the lead with 3:05 left. And all of a sudden, KCP rips that one, and then they go down and get a shot clock violation, which was ridiculous. You can't win a game like that with a shot clock.
And then KCP turned the corner on Duncan Robinson.
And by the way, KCP's driving layup on Duncan Robinson. It came at the end of the clock when Jimmy Buckets did take LeBron and took the ball right out of his hands. LeBron gives it back to KCP. You do something with the hot potato, and he just drives it home. Yeah. And that put you up 7, and that was basically game, set, and series.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay?
But Skip,
I noticed what you did, Skip.
You saw that too?
When you thought it was AD against Jimmy Butler on the 3, you said AD dared him to shoot. When you realized it was LeBron, you said LeBron opted not to guard him.
Well,
no,
LeBron doesn't guard thrpoint shooters. We know that.
Yeah.
We got to see Kyle Kuzma push him out to guard a
well, Butler's not a 3-point shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what was so amazing about his performance is that he got 40 on 20 shots and none of them were 3-point shots.
Okay. I'm going to give LeBron these 2 props. To Chris's point, I thought the first 3 that he made with 8:18 left in the third quarter, which actually gave them a lead they never relinquished, that was huge. And I agree with you, Chris. It was psychologically huge for his team and maybe for the Heat, too, because LeBron joined the party. And then he made another one. He went 0 for 3 in the fourth quarter because he's missed all his threes in this series in the fourth quarter. That's okay. I'll give you that. But in the fourth quarter, I also give LeBron, he made all 7 of his free throws. Yeah. He's not prone to do that. That's not his
very
history.
Prone.
It is not.
Very prone.
Oh, stop it.
But Skip, can we just, the bar is so high, and this is LeBron's fault. He set the bar this high. This is his opening height. You know, a lot of people get a height that they can clear, but LeBron James' height, his opening height is so high, very few people have ever, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Very few people have ever been over a bar this high. So when he doesn't, Chris, are we really poo-pooing 28, 12, and 8? Is that what we're doing now, Chris? Is he that great that we're talking about a guy that's averaging 28, 11, and 9? Is that what we're saying he's having a bad series? Is that what we are now, Chris?
Nobody said he's having a bad series.
I do think, Shannon, we expect him to just do everything. I mean, honestly, we expect him to dominate, and I think he's playing more in the system. He is moving the ball a lot. He's not over-dribbling, like he's done in the past, and I think we're not used to seeing it, but he's still being just as dominant.
Wait, do we expect him to have 14 turnovers in the last 2 games?
No.
Wow.
Okay.
You didn't put those in your stats.
He had 14 turnovers.
Okay.
But guess what he had? He had that dub. He didn't come to my restaurant. I just want to know one thing. Hey, Jimmy, are they still in trouble? Are they still in trouble?
No, they're still the team that was 75-1 to make to the finals before the
Whoa. Hold on. We didn't get no odds. Remember, most likely to make the finals, it was the Bucks and all the Nuggets, all the Sixers. We couldn't even get no odds.
Yep.
Now we there.
You're a beloved underdog. Way to go, Steve.
No mercy. The Lakers are just 1 game away from winning another title. Despite being down 3-1, Jimmy Butler said the Heat's confidence is going to stay high. Meanwhile, LeBron said after Game 4 and after that win that the job is not done and he wouldn't sleep until the job is done. And Chris Broussard is still with us. So, Chris, will the Lakers end the series Friday night?
Shannon, congratulations. Your superstition won out. This won't go 6, as you said, knowing it would go 5. It's over. It is over. Skip, you covered enough NBA Finals to know when a series was 3-1 and you knew who was going to win outside of, obviously, 2016 with Golden State and Cleveland, the worst thing in the world was for that team that's down to win the Game 5, and you got to travel for the players and the media. You got to travel all the way across the country for a Game 6 that you know is going to end in the finals. Obviously, they're not traveling now, but I do think the Lakers certainly want to get out of the bubble, And I think the Heat, even though they're not gonna give in, they're gonna give it all they have. I think everybody's ready to get out of that bubble. So I do think this ends. Look, I know it's tough to close a team out, right? They always say that's the toughest game to win. But I actually think the big game was last night. That was the swing game. If Miami had won that game, now all of a sudden, not only is this a series, but Miami has all the momentum and maybe a little doubts creeping into the Lakers' minds. Obviously, the Lakers win. They have full command of the series. If they were going to get tight, it was going to be last night, and we're just judging from what we saw with LeBron. But maybe you're right, Skip. If he was tight, it was the first half last night. That's over with. Nobody on the Lakers should be tight on Friday. They should just close this thing out, and I think they will.
I agree. I believe they'll close it out also. The thing is that in order for the Heat to win, Skip, Jimmy Butler's going to need to score probably somewhere between 115 points and 130 points over the next 3 games. He's going to have to basically have 3 historic games in order for them. And then Anthony, AD, and LeBron is not going to have to play up to their level that they're capable of. Because if they play up to the level they're capable of, even if Jimmy has historic numbers, they're going to lose this game. I believe they lose. I believe the Lakers close this thing out. And if they come out early, because the longer you stay around, they're going to keep fighting to the end. But if they come out and do like they did in Game 1, and a few shots fall early, because KCP hit a couple of shots early, Danny Green didn't play a whole lot last night, didn't play his normal minutes, but I believe it's over also. I believe that LeBron and AD, Skip, 3 months in an aquarium is a long time. And that's basically what they've been living in. They've been living in an aquarium for 3 months. And it's like, you know what? We get an opportunity to go home. It's like, hey, if you clean up the house, I'm going to let you go to the mall, or I'll let you go out. Okay, win this game, and you can go home.
Gone. My turn. This series, this finals, was over before it started. It was an epic mismatch. That's what my friend Chris Broussard told us first day before we were making our predictions. Epic mismatch. It took the all-time greatest finals triple-double in the history of the finals by Jimmy Butler. 40, 11, and 13 with no three-point attempts. It took that for them to pull off what I still believe was the biggest single-game upset in the history of the NBA Finals in Game 3. It was Jimmy or bust, and it was all Jimmy all the time. I've never seen anything like it. But it took that for them to win one game, and it took whatever heart is left in them. I think that they gave it all last night. They left it all on the floor. They're just not good enough. One team has 2 superstars. The other team has no superstar. One team is veteran to the core with playoff Rondo and KCP and Markieff and Danny Green, players who've been there and done all this before. And the other team last night played high minutes, 3 rookies. Do you realize Tyler Hero's the youngest player ever to play in the finals? He played 37 minutes last night. Duncan Robinson, a rookie, played 32 minutes last night. And would you believe that Kendrick Nunn, another rookie, a good one, but still a rookie, played 26 minutes and went 2 for 11 last night. And their offense kept degenerating into little Kendrick at 6'2", dribble, left-handed, trying to take it inside against AD and get his shot blocked. It was a joke to me. What are you doing? Well, it's just who they are. The Lakers' point guard, LeBron James, is bigger and stronger than the starting center for the Heat. Bam. I'm sorry. They're just too small. They're too short. They're in the end, not good enough. So the only competition left on Friday night is LeBron versus AD for MVP. And I think it'll be an epic battle. It'll be a shootout between those two, which is just more bad news for the Miami Heat. They will be bystanders. They will be set decoration for the epic MVP battle on Friday night.
I think we, the MVP, I mean, the guy's averaging, he's averaging the most points.
Oh, you think it's over? I don't.
Chris, I mean, how does someone lose the MVP if his team wins? He's averaging more points, more rebounds, more assists. Am I missing something, Chris?
Right. And he's shooting 54% from the floor. Skip, I'll say this. If AD and LeBron do have that mentality of let me go out and show I'm the finals MVP, I think that plays into the Heat's hands.
No.
There may have been some of that at the beginning of Game 3. I don't know. When LeBron came out and was doing, trying to do too much, I thought. Because I think after the first 2 games, AD was the MVP. He was the finals MVP after the first 2 games. It was kind of like Denver. Early on in that series, he was MVP. But obviously, Game 3, he played poorly. LeBron wasn't great, but he was better than AD. And then last night, I think clearly LeBron was the better player. So I agree with Shannon. I think LeBron is in the lead firmly. And I think LeBron would have to fall flat on his face and play horribly, and AD would have to go for 40-something and 20 to win the MVP at this point, because I just think LeBron's got a safe lead on it.
And
even when LeBron plays badly, he usually gives you 25.
You're desperate for it.
So I think LeBron's got it.
Stop it.
You see what he's trying to do? See,
trying to do anything.
No. Because at first, now he told me at the beginning of the year, Chris, that this would be LeBron James's toughest challenge to win a finals, to win a title, because he was in the Western Conference, because of Kawhi had snatched the rug out from under him, and so many teams. So this was going to be his toughest.
Did you predict there was going to be a pandemic and he was going to get 5 months off to get ready for the playoffs?
I
predicted Chris Broussard. Can you tell what I did predict? Who did I predict was going to win the title? I said, Chris, and you sat right here. I said, Chris, I need you to come with me. I said, I got one more chair on this bus, this bandwagon for you, Chris. I want you on it. I don't want anybody else. You say, nah. And even I tried to get you back on it. You came and said, okay, I'm going to go with the Lakers. And then you saw the Clippers. You let Paul George and Kawhi fool you. And you're like, I got to go. I said, Chris, don't do it. That's what a friend. I'm your conscience, Chris. I was on your shoulder. I said, Chris, don't do it. But you wouldn't listen.
Wait, did the Lakers beat the Clippers when it mattered?
Huh?
Did they have to beat the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals?
We beat them, Skip, in the play-in games. We beat the brakes off them. You remember LeBron James hit that shot and then D'd up Kawhi and D'd up Paul George at the end? You remember that?
I remember Game 1 when LeBron and AD scored 2 total points in the fourth quarter. I remember Christmas Day when Pat Bev blocked LeBron's shot, his 3 to tie, and it went off his hands out of bounds.
Okay, we'll let you hang that banner. Opening night, you got a banner. You beat the Lakers. On Christmas, you got a banner. You beat the Lakers. But when it mattered, we going to drop a banner.
When it mattered, the Clippers weren't there.
In January. January, Jeannie Buss going to drop that.
And the NBA God said, let there be LeBron.
And going to do it again next year.
No mercy. Tomorrow, Thursday Night Football returns to Fox. Brady and the all-new Bucs look like the real deal. They meet Super Bowl 52 rival Nick Foles and the Bears on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. Looking forward to that one. How about this one, guys? LeBron and Anthony Davis have both put up impressive numbers through 4 games of the finals. Both are averaging over 25 points and 9 rebounds a game. While LeBron has the edge with 8.5 assists a game, AD has come up big defensively with a steal and nearly 2 blocks per game. So, Shannon, who is the MVP so far in the finals?
I believe if the voting was right now, Skip, it would be LeBron.
You almost did a Freudian slip.
No, well, I'm saying it's going to take a Herculean effort by AD. LeBron would have to be quiet the last game 5. LeBron has scored 25 points, at least 25 points in all 4 ball games. AD only had 15 in game 3. And I just don't see it, Skip. Our guy averages 28, 11, 8.5 on 54% shooting, and he's not the MVP. AD has been phenomenal. AD averaged 26, 9, and 2 on 60% shooting. But LeBron is first in scoring, first in rebounding. He's second in assists behind Jimmy Butler, but he leads the Lakers in all 3 categories. So for me, I just don't see a scenario unless AD has one of those monster games in which, and he's capable of, Skip. He's capable of going for 25 points and 15 to 20 rebounds, and LeBron has a 15.5 rebound game, something like that. I don't see a situation. And plus, the narrative, the story. Skip, you know year 17. You know a guy winning a finals MVP for his 3rd different team. You know the meaning it has. Sports are not always about wins and losses or the score. What's the story? What's the more compelling story to be told? And it was going to be in our documentary. We have a documentary 20 years now.
First player to win 3 for 3 different teams, 3 Finals MVPs.
Isn't that a great story?
So you're saying as Kevin Durant calls them, fanboy media.
There you go.
The fanboy media will vote LeBron MVP even if he doesn't deserve it.
So you said he wouldn't deserve it. Are you saying, is that what you're saying?
It is definitely up for grabs right now.
Okay.
And I will give you that LeBron is outscoring AD for the 4 games, 28 points to 26 points.
Okay.
But how can you sweep under your little LeBron rug over there? How can you sweep under your carpet 14 turnovers in the last 2 games? Those are eyesore turnovers. It's hard to overcome those in close games, but you're up against a team that is epically overmatched. So you're getting away with that because it's the Heat, 75-1 before the season started to even make it to the finals. And how do you overlook the fact that in fourth quarters of the 4 games, LeBron is 0 for 9 from 3. In the last 2 games, he went 0 for 3, and then last night 0 for 3 again. How do you overlook that? Is that MVP caliber
He's
stats?
13 of 18 in the fourth quarter on 2s. He's leading. He scored 34 fourth quarter points. So in other words, he's averaging a little over 8 points a game in the fourth quarter. Now, if you do that during the regular season, you're going to probably be top 5 at the bare minimum in fourth quarter scoring. He's doing this in an NBA Finals. So are you going to sweep that under your little rug? I didn't think you would, Skip. I didn't think you would.
How about this? From 3 through the first 4 games, LeBron is at 36%, but AD is at 55% from the three-point line.
Skip.
Does that hurt the Heat? It's hard to defend that, man.
Skip. All of that. AD is shooting better from the free throw line.
Oh, wait. Let's say how much better. LeBron, by his standards, is having a phenomenal free throw shooting finals. He's 72%. That's extraordinary for LeBron, not for anybody else, but for LeBron. AD has made all 17 of his finals free throws.
Yes.
He's 17 for 17. What?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, that really helps, right? That makes you MVP.
Yeah. AD is 17 for 17. He's better from the three-point line. But LeBron is still averaging more points. He's still averaging more rebounds. The assist, we understand that because LeBron is a point guard.
How about blocks? AD so far in 4 games has 7 to LeBron's 3. And LeBron's Mr. Chase down, but he hasn't been pulling those off lately.
But AD has the game 1 and game 4. He had 3 in game 1, had 4 in game and game 4.
AD has 4 steals so far. LeBron has 3. And AD plays center, like he's... Okay.
Come on, Skip. Now, but we did be a nitpick. Now, nobody goes into the weeds and all that. You're trying to find a reason.
No.
You know what? You kind of like one of these people at the combine. You're looking for a reason not to draft the guy in the first round, as opposed to what your eyes tell you when you're watching the game.
No, I'm eye testing. I'm saying, wait a second. That guy, the little taller guy, is he number 3? Is that what he wears? Yeah. That guy?
Yeah, he's
not the third wheel. He's not the second wheel. He's the first wheel.
Skip.
Right?
I mean, I don't know how.
Okay. What's the plus minus for the series so far? AD is plus 24. That means when he's on the floor, they're winning by 24 points. LeBron is plus 11. So when he's on the floor, they're winning by 11. Last night, it was shockingly the other way around. What was the most important game of the series so far? It was last night's game. LeBron called it one of the biggest games of my career.
Okay.
The swing game, the tide turns one way or the other.
And what did the guy do in the swing game? What did the guy that's leading, what did LeBron do? Can you repeat his numbers?
Can we repeat what AD said that he did? He told LeBron, I got him.
Right.
I'll take Jimmy Butler.
And why did he tell LeBron, I got him? What did he say? What did he say? Why did he told LeBron, I got him? Because we asked him to do so much. LeBron drive the ball. LeBron get into the lane. LeBron facilitate the offense. LeBron get to the free throw line. And if I read his lips correctly last night, he said, hey, Bron, step to the line and make these free throws. And LeBron said, I got you, bro. I got you, bro.
So Jimmy Butler guards LeBron because he's two-way. He's going both ways. He's giving every last ounce, heart and soul. And LeBron is having to save himself just for offense.
Yeah. We've seen LeBron take Jamal Murray. We've seen LeBron be open to the task.
No, not this time. We're talking about the finals MVP, not playoff MVP.
He's going to be fine. If they win this game on Friday, and LeBron James does what he's been doing, LeBron is going to be Finals MVP, and that's nothing to hang your head about. There's nothing wrong with that. Anthony Davis, we could not have done this without AD.
So
he knows that.
Help me out here. In the swing game of this NBA Finals, biggest game, one of the biggest games of LeBron's career, Anthony Davis was a plus 17, by far the best of any player on either team. That means when he was on the floor, Lakers won by 17 points.
Right.
LeBron, when he was on the floor last night, playing high minutes, they were a -2. They lost when LeBron was on the floor.
I've seen guys have scored 30 and be -8, -9. At the end of the day, the Lakers got the win. LeBron was phenomenal in what you call crunch time, money time. The fourth quarter with 11, 5, and 2.
Well,
he
it wasn't
made all of
crunch time. It wasn't a close game at
You know
the
why
end.
it wasn't close? Because we made sure it didn't get close. Because we went on a scoring run all ourselves. Have you ever seen a 75-35? No. We went on a 7-0 run. I got this. And while you said those guys were looking at LeBron's side eye, they knew deep down inside, we got LeBron, y'all don't.
And I saw LeBron eye testing. I saw him take, because he thought he had a hot hand, he was sort of heat checking in the fourth quarter, and he heat checked 3 threes, and they all le-bricked.
What about the other shots? What about the man ones he was getting? Dre Crowder, what about them free throws he was making, Skip? And Skip, at some point in time, look, I get it. And I know because you don't want me to have any more, like you said, accolades to add to my arsenal to build this fortress around the GOAT that you can't come chip away.
I don't want a phony accolade. I don't want a cheap one. I don't want undeserved.
I'm building this fortress around the GOAT statue that you and others can't chip away, because I know you want to chip away at it. But I'm going to build this thing up so high that you can't get over it, and so deep down you can't dig up under it, and it's going to be there forever.
So what amuses me is that come Friday night, you're actually going to have to root against one of your favorite players, Anthony Davis, the baby GOAT. You're going to have to root against him, because if he goes bonkers on you, if he goes off and has a monster AD game,
I hope he does.
You are cooked.
I hope he does, because I would rather have a win.
You would.
I'm sure. Yeah. Do I
want it both ways?
I do.
Yep.
But GOAT James right now is the MVP, and you know it.
Phony GOAT. Yep.
No mercy. Aaron Rodgers faced criticism last season for having what some called a down year. This season, however, he's the 4th player since 1948 with 12-plus passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions through 4 games. 1948, and Rodgers isn't buying that he's coming off a down year. On the Pat McAfee show, Rodgers said, quote, "Down years for me are career years for most quarterbacks."
Hey!
The confidence.
Talk that talk.
From Aaron Rodgers, Shannon.
Talk it.
Do you like it?
Love it. Talk that talk, A-Rod. I've been saying that. That's what I told Skip Bayless. A down year. He's absolutely right. I've been saying this. Rodgers gets measured by 45-6. He had a historic season. He threw 45 touchdowns, 6 INTs. And people are like, well, he's slipping. How about this here? Here's a stat for you. Nobody in the history of the game, Skip, has ever thrown for at least 4,000 yards, more than 25 touchdowns, fewer than 5 interceptions. He did that last year with a 13-3 team, and he's slipping. He said, I bet you a lot of quarterbacks would like to slip like that. He ain't slipping. He saw the Arsenal on full display. No Devontae Adams. No Alan Lazard. Still getting it done. No Mercedes Lewis. He's taking Tanya and turning him into a household name. Pretty soon, he's going to be getting mentioned like Kelsey, like Kittle. That's what he's doing for that guy. Valdez Scantling, undrafted free agent, Skip Bayless. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely correct. A down year was considered a down year for him. It's a historic season for a lot of quarterbacks. So with that being said, he ain't lost a thing. Ain't lost a thing.
Really? Interesting. So Aaron Rodgers is really feeling himself after he took advantage of a decimated Atlanta secondary and an Atlanta defense that is second worst only to my Dallas Cowboys defense. And you're gloating about that? You're flexing over that?
What about New Orleans?
Wow.
What do you do against New Orleans?
Well,
what about Minnesota?
Yeah. Minnesota is not Minnesota anymore. Have you noticed? Who's the other one? Detroit? Come on.
Yep.
Stop it. Just stop it. So I don't really care about stats, although his have fallen the last 4 years if we're talking about QBR and completion percentage.
But you don't care about QBR.
Oh, well, I care about this one because he had his career worst last year. As they were going 13-3, it became Aaron Jones's team because he was the clear-cut MVP. He just was.
No, he wasn't.
Anybody who knows that team, that was the MVP. He was the driving force of that team.
What would Aaron,
and the defense.
If you let me ask you a question, Skip. Do you believe Aaron Jones would have these kind of numbers without Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback?
I have no idea. I think he's a really talented kid. I like him.
I've seen Aaron Rodgers perform without Aaron Jones. We've never seen Aaron Jones perform without Aaron Rodgers.
He's a young player. I don't know. Let's see. Let him go and see what he does.
The running back, we've seen only a handful of quarterbacks a handful of running backs in the last 20 years be able to dominate. Adrian Peterson's really the only one that I can think of.
All I know is that Aaron Rodgers had his career worst QBR that ranked 18th last year. And he had one of his career worst completion percentages, 62%, which ranked 21st in the league. Stop it.
Okay, think of what you just said. You said he had his worst year completion percentage, worst year QBR, and the guy that you said that didn't step off a cliff was worse than he was. How is that possible? How can Tom Brady have a worse year statistically than Aaron Rodgers?
Glad you brought up Tom Brady. He is 6 out of 9 in Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers is 1 for 1, and it was 10 years ago.
Skip.
1 to 6.
Aaron
1 to 6.
Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls in 9 attempts. That's not up for debate. What the debate is that you're saying Aaron Rodgers is past, and his numbers are better than Tom Brady, who you said is ascending. I just don't
Tom
see
Brady's
that.
43 years of age.
No. You said we can't use that narrative. Just like you won't let me use LeBron being in year 17, being 35. You say that's neither here nor there. So what he is, the numbers, what does the numbers say?
What do the stories say? Remember back in April of 2019, the Bleacher Report had a scathing indictment of Aaron Rodgers and how he was more at fault than Mike McCarthy that contributed to the wreckage that was that relationship. But we know that to be a lie now,
don't we? Because we saw what Mike McCarthy's doing in Dallas.
I don't know.
We saw what Mike McCarthy...
Remember what Mark Murphy, the president, according to the report, said to Aaron? He called him to tell him, I've hired Matt LaFleur. And he said, Aaron, don't be the problem from this point forward. Again, Mark Murphy has denied that quote, but it was reported by a credible reporter who covers the Packers.
Yes, Skip, that might be true. Aaron Rodgers is condescending. He can be aloof. He can be demeaning. He can be all those things. But the one thing he is on top of that is transcendent, historically great. And even though the numbers, if you measure it by his greatest statistical season, 45 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, it might look like he had a down season. But when you consider the 100-year history, and no quarterback has ever threw for at least 4,000 yards, more than 25 touchdowns, fewer than 5 interceptions, how can you say he had a down year when nobody else has ever done that but him?
So Pro Football Focus from week 8 on, so the last basically 8 games last year, they ranked Aaron Rodgers 17th among quarterbacks in performance.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
You rank it, Skip. Let that sink in. They had him the 17th best quarterback, but he had numbers nobody had ever done before in the history of the game.
And they were so impressive that the brain trust of the Green Bay Packers decided going into the draft, we need to go get our future at quarterback. They traded up from 30th to 26th to take Jordan Love. I have no idea how good he is. I didn't watch him. I only see the highlights, but they loved him. And I'm sure they still do love him.
Let me ask you a question. Coach Belichick was so convinced that he was willing. Now, we saw what they put on display on Monday night. Brian Hoyer and Stiddy, before he signed Cam Newton on July 8th. Coach Belichick says, you know what? I'll go into the season with them because I believe they give me just as good a chance. That's what he said.
Nope. He needed the GOAT gone so that he had an opportunity to prove he was the GOAT coach. That's all that was. It was egomania. He's earned the right to be an egomaniac.
Well, who said it wasn't Mark Murphy ego that says, I'm going to get control back of this team because Aaron Rodgers has too much pull? Who said it wasn't his ego?
I think that was happening.
Okay, then. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, that guy right there had a high QBR, a high completion percentage, a high yards per attempt, and he had a better record than your guy.
All I know is since that long ago Super Bowl 10 years ago, Aaron Rodgers is 6-7 in the postseason. And when I look at the 6, he beat Joe Webb, a receiver playing quarterback. He got lucky because Dez caught it in that game.
Dez didn't.
He beat Kirk Cousins. He got away with the Odell boat trip game when he took his receivers to prep for Lambeau Field down in Miami.
Your guy lost to Ryan Tannehill and Nicky Foles.
Yep.
Who couldn't beat out Gardner Minshew.
Remember what Mason Crossbar did to my Cowboys? It took 2 intergalactic Super Bowls by the hand of God to save Aaron Rodgers at Dallas.
Look at those 7 losses. Look how many points. You see what the Dallas Cowboys, that's what just think about that. Aaron Rodgers' defenses in those 7 losses are giving up more points than the Dallas Cowboys do currently. Let that sink in. Everybody sees how bad the Cowboys are. That's how bad.
Well,
in those 7 losses, they give up more points than what Aaron Rodgers' defense gave up. Aaron Rodgers' defenses give up more points than what the Cowboys' defense give up currently.
He lost to Eli at home in a playoff game.
How many points did they give up?
Cap at home in a playoff game.
How many points did they give up?
Remember how he played at Seattle? That was atrocious.
Your guy had a home game in which the defense only gave up 13 points. Let Aaron Rodgers' defense hold a team to 13 points.
Leave Aaron Rodgers out of the Brady conversation, please. He doesn't belong.
If you don't mind me asking, how many points did Aaron Rodgers' defense give up to San Francisco in the championship game last year?
Well, they got blown off the field. He was terrible.
Whoa. How many points?
I can't remember because it was forgettable.
Exactly.
Yeah, his performance was forgettable. Exactly.
Don't do that, Skip.
Skip. Gloat, Aaron, gloat while you can.
He said, look here. He said, my down year is a great year for a lot of other quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The only handful of guys wouldn't take a season like that. My homeboy, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson. Everybody else gonna take that.
Yeah.
Everybody else take that right there.
If Tom Brady had said that, I'd say, okay, I got
Don't do that. Don't do that. Old Dinkin' and Dunkin' Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Old Ticky Tack. That's what they call him, old Ticky Tack. Old Ticky Tack Tom.
Tom doesn't say stuff like that.
Ro Jones, you want it right here?
He's
Here
above
you
it.
go.
No mercy.
Tonight on FS1, the National League Division Series continues. Mookie Betts and the Dodgers, who have Clayton Kershaw on the mound in a 1-0 series lead, take on Fernando Tatis Jr. and the Padres in the NLDS Game 2. It all starts 8:30 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. How about this? In an interview with the Players Tribune, Kevin Durant shared who he believed to have had the top 5 MVP seasons of all time. Durant said Michael Jordan's 88 and 98 season, Hakeem Olajuwon's 94 season, LeBron's 2010 season, and Kobe's 2008 season were his top 5. Shannon, was this a shot at LeBron James?
No, I don't. I don't think it was a shot, Skip. I think it was complimenting a guy that he has great respect for, even though they're competitors, they're peers. And Skip, it's rare in today's game that a peer pays you that kind of respect. Obviously, they're competing at the highest level. Both are trying to accomplish the same thing in the same era. I'm trying to beat you, you're trying to beat me, because ultimately, we are going to be judged by championships. And for him to give LeBron this kind of homage and say, hey, yeah, we're competitors, but I think one of the MVP, my top 5 MVP seasons of all time, LeBron James had one. And so, Skip, I think it's an ultimate compliment for a peer, someone as talented, as gifted, as great as Kevin Durant, to say, you know what, although he is a competitor of mine, I think one of the MVP seasons he had is one of the greatest for me.
Really?
Yes.
I thought peers defended their own in their own era.
Nah. You know, sometimes, but I'm listening to rappers, and I had talked to Snoop. And Snoop's like, nah, my peers, you ain't getting no homage like that. I'm going back to the OGs. No, we.
That's because he believes it.
Yes, but
Okay.
no. I'm saying no. He said no. I can't. You know, he didn't put any of the rap. I mean, from Tupac to Biggie, any of the guys that he went back, KRS-One and LL Cool J and Cube and guys like that. Eric B. Rakim. Eric B.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Skip, I think it was a compliment. I think it was a compliment.
Well, I'll give you a compliment. I'll give you tip of cap to LeBron, but I'm also giving you more conclusive proof that your GOAT debate is just absurd. It's far-fetched. It's phony GOAT debate. This is more conclusive proof that obviously Michael Jordan is the GOAT, because he ranked two of Jordan years 10 years apart, a 10-year span between two MVPs from a Kevin Durant who really knows his basketball history. He got this so right because you want to talk about a force of nature, that 88 Jordan, whew, that was the one Larry Bird said that was God disguised as Michael Jordan. Remember that? After the 63 he laid on them.
That was 86.
Huh?
That was at 86.
Oh, 86,
yeah.
That's right. But this is that guy from that era. Okay, 88 is Michael Jordan winning the scoring title and winning Defensive Player of the Year. LeBron ever do that? No. Game over.
He should have. You know it.
Game over.
Skip, you know they gave it to Marc Gasol. Skip.
Game over. It's just game over. Then we get to 98, 10 years later, last dance year in Chicago, late career Michael Jordan. And all he does is win his 10th scoring title, and he's first team all defense. LeBron has never done that late career LeBron.
No.
I'm sorry.
Not with those guys.
It's over, Shannon. And those were ranked 1 and 2.
Skip.
1 and 2.
First of all, LeBron should have had MVPs 10 years apart because he should have won it this year. He didn't. But, Skip, what they asked LeBron to do is to drive the ball, get into a lane, facilitate the offense, do this, do that. Jordan never was asked to do that. He was never.
In 98, he led the league in usage rate. So what are you talking about? He had the ball in his hands more than anybody did.
But Skip,
he was the bailout king. They always said, into the clock, you do it.
But in those championship years, he never led the team in assists. He never led the team in rebounding.
Well, he didn't lead an assist because he was going to shoot it.
Exactly.
That's why he's winning the scoring title.
But that's what LeBron is not. LeBron does. That's not his mindset, and that's not a knock on LeBron. That's not a knock on. They're two different mentalities. One was a scorer. One was more of a facilitator. But for LeBron to be able to do what he's doing, Skip, it was a great. And he also said, well, why did you choose the number 7 later in the interview? He said, because all of the guys that I admire and looked up to, they got 2 numbers. Kobe, LeBron, Mike, so I went with a single number. What did you want to say?
So what's your point?
His point is that he has the utmost respect. He knows what LeBron is. Everybody knows what. All the guys that are watching at home, from Giannis to whomever, Kawhi knows. Kawhi know who that dog is.
Now we're changing the subject off of Kevin Durant.
Skip, first of all.
Knows the score.
So why would he even...
He's basically just shouting to you, MJ's the GOAT.
No, if he wanted to shout, he shouldn't even he didn't put LeBron in there.
Why not?
Go with one of Shaq years. Go to the year Shaq was 29 and 14. Okay. He could have gone with that. He could have took Wilt Chamberlain years. He could have took Larry Bird years.
He likes LeBron. Maybe he's just being nice to him.
Oh, now he's being nice.
Just a little tip of the cap, make him feel good.
We don't need no feel good.
We got to compete with him.
We about to feel great.
Yeah?
Probably about midnight on Friday.
That brings up one last point about LeBron's magical path, the easiest path ever to a ring. There's no Kevin Durant.
Skip.
If Kevin had played, I thought he was going to play.
We came to the West to mess with KD. Yeah. We came to the West looking for him.
If Kyrie and KD had said, let's play, you know what would have happened?
What would have happened?
You'd be playing them right now.
Well, guess what, Skip? Hopefully the season kicks off in January.
Yep.
Hopefully they say, let's play, and they get, and they could collaborate together on the coaching. And hopefully, who knows?
Who knows?
Let it play out.
No mercy. Josh Allen has 15 total touchdowns and has led the Bills to a perfect 4-0 record to start the season. Brett Favre has taken notice of the young QB and has high expectations for him. In a radio interview, Favre said, quote, Josh Allen will be the new Tom Brady. At some point, he will be running the division. Shannon, do you agree?
Hell no. There's nothing of Josh Allen reminds me of Tom Brady. He has a bigger arm. He's more mobile. And the domination that we see the Patriots have in that division is not going to be challenged again. Now, Skip, it would have been interesting to see, would they have dominated that division had Peyton Manning and the Colts not been removed from that division and gone put into the AFC South? Because that would have been very interesting. It's hard for me to see a scenario they would win the division year after year with Peyton in that division. Yep. So, no, I do not see that kind of level of domination by the Buffalo Bills in that division.
Okay, but Brett Favre is not saying that Josh Allen will be equal to Tom Brady or better than Tom Brady.
He's saying that they're dominating. I don't believe they'll dominate the division.
For many years to come, Josh Allen will be the quarterback in this division. I took this as a shot at Cam Newton. Did Brett forget Cam's off, he's 31 years old.
Right.
He's off to a great start.
Well, I guess Cam
Right?
is factoring in. Coach Belichick might not keep Cam.
Well, why wouldn't he keep Cam? Have you seen anything not to like?
No.
Well, seriously, could Cam play at a high level for 5 or 6 more years?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe 10 more years.
Does he not believe in Tua? Because Tua, is a rookie quarterback, and I believe we're going to see him sooner than later. The question, and granted, Tom was the premier quarterback in that division basically his entire career.
Okay.
So the question is Josh Allen going to be the premier quarterback? Does he not believe in Tua? As you mentioned, does he not believe in Cam? Does he not believe in Sam Darnold? Skip, you're not winning that division 18, 19 times in 20 years. Skip, that's not going to happen.
And I like what Josh Allen has done so far. What's not to like about that? Because he's obviously much bigger and much more athletic than Tom Brady.
Right.
So he can run. He'll probably lead the quarterbacks in rush yards and scoring. But to what end? What does that mean?
Yes, I just don't see the level of domination. Could he be the premier quarterback? Sure. But the level of domination that Tom displayed, not only was he the premier quarterback, Skip, Joe Montana was the premier quarterback in the NFC West. They didn't win no 18 times.
Nope. Good point.
But the Buffalo Bills are becoming must-watch TV. That is something that I'm here to see. That is it for Undisputed, guys. Good stuff today. We're back same time tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Have a good day.